Blog Talk Radio.
Good afternoon. This is Ty Jones, host of The Voice of the People, and this is Ty Jones, The Voice. We have with us phenomenal, the legendary Miki Howard, who has redefined herself as one of the, I actually adore this woman, and she's redefined herself again and again by going back to her roots of her Southern Soul Blues with Chicago style steppin for her new single, Fed Up. With mega hits such as Love Under New Management, that was one of my favorites, and Come Share My Love. She has been a trailblazer for women dealing with love and domestic violence, but being strong to overcome and to rise to the top. We have the phenomenal woman herself, Miss Miki Howard. Thank you for gracing me with your presence today.
Well, hello, darling. It's good to hear you.
It is so wonderful. Do you know I am so in love with you? I have been listening to you, Mikki, for years and years and years. I actually worked for Foxy 107, 104 in Raleigh, North Carolina. And when I worked there, it was for an urban AC station. So songs like Love Under New Management and, you know, the songs that you Come Share My Love, those were songs that I grew up listening to and so admire you for your strength. Thank you for coming on the show today. I want to hear about what's going on with you. What's up? You got a new single, Fed Up. Tell the listeners, I want to hear what's going on with my girl, this songstress.
Well, girl, honey, first of all, I am having a ball being a grandmother, and I have a new single. It's entitled "Fed Up," and it's available on all of the internet sites or whatever you call it, the Spotify's and whatever. And it's really it's to tell anybody that's going through something and they're tired of it, just get fed up and let it go. And keep on moving. And I'll be also performing this weekend, Friday and Saturday, at the Catalina's Bar and Grill Jazz Club on Hollywood or Sunset Boulevard.
Yes. So for those that are listening, Miki Howard is going to be performing August 23rd and the 24th at Catalina Jazz Club. It's 6725 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, California. So if you guys are in the LA area and you're in Hollywood, you need to check my girl out. I was listening to the track Set Up, and it's on fire. I love the new sound. This is a different sound for Miss Miki to me. So what was the motivation? You're going back to your roots, am I right? Like this is something different.
Oh yeah, and just Mavis Staples is my godmother, so I just reached in and pulled some Mavis out. And I had been on the road quite a bit, so the voice was just really perfect for that kind of song, and it was just cool. So I was like, I just want to write something for the ladies so I can quit telling my girlfriends when they call me and talk about their husbands or something, when they don't like them, I can stop having to be the one to tell them it's time to be done. I can just play the record.
Hey, girl, you preach it to the choir because I'm going to tell you something. You said something profound to me, Mikki, and I'll never forget it. That's how I fell in love with your stance, and I didn't even realize that you were a big advocate for domestic violence, and you yourself have been through many turbulent storms, and I actually want to say that I loved the movie portrayal of you on TV One. Did you have your hands in that story? I love your story.
Oh, yes. I love the actress
that played you. Okay.
Tiana Paris. She's fabulous.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I loved it. Now, did you have your hands in it? Did you have say on the storyline? Did you have, were you active with what was said about you?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. Yes. So it was really, really cool. And trying to put a whole life in the 90 minutes was weird, but it was cool, though. You got the gist of it.
You know what is so crazy? You know what's so interesting? All of those songs that you did with Gerald, I was younger back then. I was a teenager I was like 15, 16, 17, listening to you, Regina Belle. You were the ladies in that R&B era that were just phenomenal back then. You were taking the world by storm when you came out. So the duets that you were doing with Gerald, when you and Gerald, God bless Gerald, when you two were doing these songs, you also were in a relationship with each other?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's my heart. I love me some Gerald. Yeah, we were always in and out of relationship, and we were very, very good friends. As you get older, you understand the relationship better. We were mostly very, very good friends. I would consider him, like people say, they have a work husband or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And the music that you did, the two of you guys, the energy between the two of you, Where Do We Go From Here, and other songs such as that, they were just songs like that, Mikki. Come on, give it to me straight. You don't hear songs like that anymore. Songs like that.
No, I mean, the world is in a different. It's a different climate now. The kids are talking about money. They want to get money and have houses and drive Ferraris and what have you. And if they happen to, men have changed a lot. They were still, different. They were different in those days. Men are different now, and so are the young ladies. The young ladies don't want to have children. They're not prone to, talk about and sing about love the way we did. And it's more of a sign of weakness to them now. And they want to have money. That's what they want. Their love is not high on their spectrum, especially when, the young people have seen so many of their parents break up, abused, never had parents in the home, and on drugs and things like that. And they're not inclined to want to be in a relationship. And they certainly don't want to sing about it.
And I have to agree with that because, come on, we're living in an era now. I'm 45 years old. I mean, some people say you're still a young buck, but I have a cousin and other women in her age bracket that are grandmothers. Grandmothers are now 45, 42, 35.
Well, that's always in our community. In the black community, grandmothers start at 39, 36. I was fortunate none of my kids had any children until they were 21, but that's always been in our community with that. But I'm telling you, we're having considerably less births in our community. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I think in everyone, everybody is kind of down on the love and relationship things because they don't work out like they want them to get, and they have it on TV, all the fighting and everything, and it's not worth it.
And I agree with you. Rather than focus on the negative energy, you seem to just turn your lemons into lemonade, and you become this powerhouse of an advocate for domestic violence. Can you tell some of the listeners what was the motivation behind becoming a voice for women? Why were you so passionate about that?
I didn't really believe and understand that men, really abuse women the way they do. I was not raised in that environment. I was raised mostly in a gay environment, and the women were powerful and strong, and never, ever had I ever seen anything like that. And I got married, and my husband was an abusive person. And, he hit me a couple times, and I, fight him back. And actually, I was pregnant the first time, and I moved out and then went to the hospital and, stayed away for a while, and then he moved in my house while I was gone, and it was crazy, and it was so horrible. It really changed the course of my life, and then I got to see and understand women that go through abusive relationships and how very difficult it is to leave, and how much more likely you are to be killed trying to leave a relationship, and that's when most of the murders happen when they're trying to leave. So you got to be very careful and very clever when you're trying to leave an abusive relationship. But that is what inspired me, because I had no knowledge of anything like that going on.
Yeah, because when I was watching the movie, you seemed like a courageous fighter. Like you come from a background where your parents were gospel singers, am I right?
Yes.
So growing up in the church and having a mother that was on the pulpit and in the church and on the exterior being a loving mother, but behind the scenes going through the abuse and being homeless as a teenager, how was that for you, Mikki? How can you describe some?
I mean, you know, it was like pretty. A lot of kids get kicked out in their teens. Now that's another subject, you know. Being a teenager on the street, you know, a lot of kids get kicked out. You're not living by my rules. You're not going to stay in this house. And it happens, you know, a lot. I don't say, I hate to say that my mother was abusive. I think that we hurt people, and that we just do what we were taught. You know, I believe that she was mistreated, most probably, as you know, growing up as descendants of slaves, you know. On that side of my family, the women were descendants of slaves, and that's what they were taught, to beat your kid, put them out, you know, tough love, so we call it today. But it was very, very hard. But I have to go.
Okay.
I have to go.
Okay.
My flight.
You're headed on a flight.
Yesterday it was storming. It was storming in Chicago. Wasn't able to leave, so I had to
I want you to have a
change my flight to today. That's why I thought I was going to be in LA already.
Okay.
And able to, you know, really spend more time with you, and I didn't want to cancel, so please forgive me.
Oh, no, I appreciate you coming in, and we're going to have to do this again because you're such a powerhouse and a soulful singer, and I want to take my time to nurture this interview. So next time around, girl, we're going to do this again, and we'll do it even more intimate. But I just want to thank you for gracing me with your presence, and I'm looking forward to hearing more music from you. So everybody, you check my girl out. She's going to be in Hollywood, California, the 23rd and the 24th. My sister will be performing at the Catalina Jazz Club, 6725 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, California. Thank you, Miss Howard, for being a guest on Ty Jones The Voice. I really appreciate you.
It was absolutely my pleasure. I look forward to talking to you again.
I look forward to, and you have a safe flight, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, and you take care tonight. That was multi-platinum recording artist Miki Howard. She graces the studio with us, and she's going to be performing. I want you guys to listen out for her single, Fed Up. And if you're in Hollywood, California, be sure to check her out. She's going to be at the Catalina Jazz Club, 6725 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, California. Now, Miss Howard is someone that I actually admire. If you have not heard about it, Miki Howard's biopic details struggles and success of her singer's stardom was something that is very inspiring. And Miki Howard's voice and musical influences endured during this test of time, okay? For proof, just tune in to the TV One made-for-television movie, Love Under New Management. It's the Miki Howard story. And it premiered back in June of 2016. It came out. And so pretty much, if you didn't know what was going on, okay, it was a time where this young woman, okay, was going through hell and back, and you would never know. In no time, you will find yourself singing and humming some of Howard's biggest hits, including Come Share My Love and Love Under New Management. Now, the actress is Tanoya Paris. She played in Mad Men and Survivor's Remorse. She plays and portrays Howard. She started as Howard, and first as a teenager, and she's the daughter of a gospel star, Josephine Howard, played by Vanessa Bell Calloway, and later as a singer trying to desperately carve out a career. Her personal and professional highs include topping the charts, starting a family, and starting a marriage, and even dating her occasional duet partner, Gerald Levert. Darius McCrae stars as Gerald Levert. You remember Darius. He played in Family Matters with Urkel. So he plays Gerald Levert, okay? But Howard also faced lots of adversity, struggling with domestic abuse from her husband, sexism with the industry, and eventually a dangerous